Hey guys, welcome to another RLCraft video. In this video, I will tell you how to make a simple and effective villager farm in RLCraft that will grant a steady flow of villagers for your trading needs. This farm is most useful on the RLCraft hardcore config when you want librarian villagers but want to stay as close to 0-0 as possible to avoid excessive difficulty scaling. I want to give massive credit to Friloth because while I know how to make many villager farms, his quad villager farm design is very simple and works well for what we need it to. I would check out some of his videos if you want to learn how to make some simple and effective villager farms in Minecraft. I will explain a few extra things in this video that you need to keep in mind since this is RLCraft though, not vanilla Minecraft. The first thing to consider in RLCraft is that there are a handful of biomes where regular villages will not pop up. This villager farm works best when made in a plains, desert, oak forest, or other generic Minecraft biome. Now, on to making the farm step by step. The first thing I'm going to show you is the typical 5-block pyramid ramp structure used in many Minecraft roller coaster contraptions. You want one powered rail at the start, 2 normal rails up the pyramid, 1 powered rail second from the top, and then a detector rail directly on top. The rest can be whatever you want, but I usually just use power rails until I need to turn or make a stop. Make sure that the powered rails are powered with redstone torches and everything works as intended. Also, this is not a redstone tutorial, so don't expect me to explain everything, like why redstone torches even work. Next, set up a dispenser with minecarts in it. And to keep supplying more minecarts, just place a dropper in some chests filled with some more minecarts, depending on how many villagers you plan on breeding. Place a redstone torch on the side of your block on the roller coaster to power the dispenser. You can resupply the used minecarts easily by placing them in the chest or dropper later as well. Place a minecart on the rail to make sure everything is working. The minecart should not go past the top of the hill, but if it's carrying a villager, it should go past the hill because of the extra momentum and the detector rail. Now, just make a hollow square area with any solid block you want, 7 by 7 except for that one block that is occupied by a powered rail. Next, place a single block in the far corner on the opposite side from your roller coaster and place a water block on top of that block. You can then break the block after. This water flow will push baby villagers into your roller coaster for transit. Now, this is where things get more flexible, but I will still explain an exact design for you to follow along if you like. Go up 2 blocks from this particular block and place a glass block as the third from the ground. Now, place a solid block on top of that glass block and do that in all 4 of these spots. Now, surround that solid block with glass panes. You then want to break the solid block since you don't need them anymore, and then you will place water in all 4 of the pillars where your solid block used to be. Now, build a 3-high wall all the way around in whatever block you want, but usually glass is what people use since you can see through it. This wall will be to keep your baby villagers from wandering around. Now, place a block in the middle of your 4 water squares and place a sticky piston on top of that. Surround the sticky piston with solid blocks and then place a light source on top so enemies do not spawn inside your farm. I like sea lanterns, so I will use that for light sources. Surround that sea lantern with solid blocks as well, except for on one side. It can be any side you like, but place a lever attached to that solid block on that side, on the same level as your sticky piston to allow you to activate it later. Now, start placing a solid block or glass directly on top of your panes, 2 blocks high all the way around the top of your farm. Now, you want to place the villagers inside these 4 holes that are now made. Using a rock, Ryko, or Quetzalcoatl to drop the villagers in with the F ability is a simple and easy way to do this. If the villagers don't make it exactly in the hole, you can always just push them in. Any villager, including misfits, work fine for this, and the babies will be random no matter what villagers you place inside, so you may as well just use misfits to give a use to those useless things. You want 2 grown villagers in each watered hole. Now, to make things faster and easier, you will want to lodge a glass block into each of these 4 chambers with a piston. You should do this after you get your villagers inside, but this step is completely optional. It is just convenient for you to do this. This will allow the food you toss in to always be caught by the villagers and to guarantee the villagers to be able to toss food to one another because they won't be bobbing up and down as much. Without the glass block inside them, they may miss sometimes, etc. But usually things will be fine, so do not worry too much. Try to keep the food the same as well, or the villagers' inventory slots will fill up fast. The easiest food to use is carrots or potatoes. Giving them a few stacks of carrots or so will keep them breeding villagers for a long time. As long as you toss them more food every once in a while, you are good. Now, you will need to make your village. No, you don't actually have to build an entire village, but you will need to trick the game into thinking that this villager farm is within a village's range. There are a lot of ways to do this, but I will just explain one of, if not the easiest way, for this particular setup. Build 3 block high glass columns around the top of your structure, but not on top of your villagers' heads. There should be a 1x3 free empty space inside where you place one more villager inside. This villager should be standing on top of your light source. This villager will be your quote-unquote breeder. You can also cover the top 2 corner blocks of this 1x3 space, just to avoid a possible glitch where the breeder will try to trade with the villagers below through the corner blocks cracks. You should also toss on some trapdoors just to make sure the villagers never throw their food too far and out of the chamber as well, and this trapdoor will help protect a bit against possible monster attacks. Now, build a 5 block cross on top of the breeder like so, and place another sea lantern or other light source of your choice on top of the cross to make sure that the area is lit up. Now, place doors next to the sea lantern on top all around like so. You will be placing 8 doors down in total. Don't ask why this works, it would take a while to explain, but the game now thinks there is a village right here, except for that there's no villager by the doors. You can place a villager up there if you want the farm to always be on, but the reason we have this breeder in this glass chamber on top of our sea lantern is to raise up our sticky piston from earlier, and now our villager is in range of the doors. When your piston is raised, you have a valid village. When your piston is lowered, you no longer have a valid village and your farm won't work. The game will think your village is abandoned when the villager is below the doors, but will think all is well when the villager is close to the door. It will take a minute or two for Minecraft to update this sometimes though, and since our Railcraft has a lot of things going on, I would recommend you not turn it on and off too often, or it might break. You should be able to hear a village bell sound within 30 seconds or so of raising the villager up to be in range of the doors. If not, something may be a bit off. Some areas may be too crowded with code, so perhaps try to make the exact farm in a different location if that does not work. RLCraft certainly is not bug-free after all. To be safe, you can just keep the farm on forever to not worry about the updates though. Pacing the villagers by the amount of food you give them works perfectly fine. The last thing I will say now before wrapping up is you need this farm to be outside, have no cobwebs around it, and if a random event like Dragon's Roar happens in your AFK, well, your villagers may die. Because of this, I would recommend your roller coaster to send the villagers down underground or to some other safe storage area where large mobs cannot reach easily. You can even make the roller coaster so long that the villagers that are bred will be out of render distance. Either way, you will want a supply of villagers to restock your farm just in case the mating ones die. With this farm, it will be rather slow, maybe one villager being bred every 2 minutes or so. There is a way to turn this farm into Sonic speed, with a villager popping out every few seconds or less involving redstone, but sadly I do not know how to get that to work. I'm far from a redstone expert, but my guess is it has something to do with redstone tick increasers, repeaters doing something fancy, or something else along those lines. Frilov doesn't seem to know, but I have witnessed it myself in the past on a multiplayer server, but I don't know who made it or how. If you find a way to super speed a villager farm, let me know down in the comments. I read every one of them. With that though, I'm going to wrap up. I'm not a big fan of farms, but just in case you are, you now know a simple and easy villager farm that you can make in RLCraft. Have a wonderful day, gamer. Good luck out there. Bye-bye.